People seriously don't realize how fast Ryan's parents just torched the empire they built. The same parents who once turned their tiny kid into the biggest face on YouTube are now trapped inside a crumbling castle of fame. In a shockingly short time, they've lost nearly 70% of their total revenue, and to make it worse, their big movie experiment crashed so hard it bled over $9.5 million. Let that sink in. This is the same family that used to pull in millions every single month from Ryan's world, and now they can't even come close to recreating that peak they squeezed out of their child's childhood. And honestly, it feels like karma clocking in for overtime. But this collapse didn't happen overnight, and it definitely wasn't random. If you really look at the timeline, the warning signs were always there. So let's rewind and break down exactly how this whole thing started, because trust me, this downfall was being built long before everything finally fell apart. Back in 2015, Ryan's parents, Shion and Loann Kaji, came to the brilliant conclusion that filming their 3-year-old ripping open toy boxes would somehow count as top-tier entertainment. And ridiculously enough, it actually worked. Their child went from being just another random toddler to the highest paid YouTuber on the planet, pulling in more than $20 million a year. Not bad at all for a kid who still needed help with basic things like tying his own shoelaces.
I'm drinking you as well.
We're just testing it out with.
But underneath the cheerful smile and all those bright plastic toy boxes, there was a much uglier reality forming. Ryan wasn't just a kid anymore. He was basically a walking ATM, and his parents were the ones constantly hitting the withdraw button. They walked away from their regular careers. Shion was a chemistry teacher, Loann an engineer, and instead launched their own company, Sunlight Entertainment. From there, they built a full operation, a 30-person production team, their home packed with lights, cameras, and scripted setups, and Ryan turned into a full-time content worker with no off switch.
Oh, what is this? 5-year-old threatens to dethrone YouTube king PewDiePie over my goddamn dead body.
By 2019, Ryan's face was absolutely unavoidable. He was slapped onto Walmart toy shelves, Colgate toothpaste, even floating over New York City as a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon. Everywhere you looked, there he was. The kid had turned into a billion-dollar brand before he'd even mastered his multiplication tables. But at the same time, people started feeling that something was off. This didn't look like harmless family fun anymore. Critics began calling it what it really seemed to be: child exploitation dressed up with bright colors and a forced smile.
Ryan's real parents are so greedy, they're never going to let this man retire. Ever. This person even said he can't wait for the flood of lawsuits from these kids to their parents.
And it didn't take long before the FTC stepped in, because Ryan's videos had started looking less like genuine playtime and more like ads in disguise. Little kids watching had no way to tell what was fun and what was sponsored. That's when the Kaji family quietly switched the branding from Ryan's Toys Review to Ryan's World, basically slapping on a cuter label to mask the heavy commercial stench. But the reality stayed the same, because ethics don't generate clicks the way non-stop content does. Ryan was grinding harder than most grown creators, pumping out as many as 25 video segments a week. His entire existence became monetized. Family vlogs, challenges, morning routines, nothing was off limits. Even brushing his teeth turned into content. And here's the most disturbing part. Unlike child actors in Hollywood, there were no laws protecting his income. Every dollar legally belonged to his parents. Ryan may have been the one bringing in the money, but his parents were holding the bread, the butter, and honestly the whole supermarket. Then reality finally hit. When YouTube rewrote its rules after the copper crackdown, kid-focused channels got absolutely crushed. Loann Kaji herself admitted they lost 70% of their income overnight. Not a gradual decline, a straight-up collapse. And almost immediately after that, they tried to recover by jumping into Hollywood with a movie called Ryan's World: Titan Universe Adventure. The budget? $10 million. The box office return? $624,000. That's a $9.5 million loss. One of the most embarrassing flops you'll ever see. The theaters were emptier than Logan Paul's apology videos. That movie didn't just bomb, it exposed how bloated and greedy the entire brand had become. At the same time, people started noticing something else. Ryan didn't look happy anymore. He looked exhausted. He talked less, smiled less. The kid who once seemed excited to be on camera now looked like he just wanted to walk away from it. But instead of giving him a break, his parents made their next move. They shifted focus to their twin daughters, Emma and Kate. Now these 7-year-old girls are being pushed into their own animated show and are appearing more and more in family content. It was like one well dried up, so they immediately started digging another. The internet snapped. Comment sections exploded. Ryan made his parents $34 million. Now they're using his sisters. And people weren't wrong. These parents built an entire empire on their child's childhood. Even lawmakers took notice. Multiple US states are now passing child influencer laws that force parents to legally set aside part of their kids' earnings. That alone says everything about how the public sees the Kajis, and recent interviews only made things more uncomfortable. In podcasts, Ryan barely speaks. His parents dominate the conversation while he just sits there, quiet and awkward, like a background prop in a story that was always supposed to be about him.
I'm about to expose Ryan's World. Recently, there was a YouTuber who interviewed Ryan's World and it got over 2 million views. So cool, right? Wrong. Because during this interview, something didn't feel right. Ryan barely spoke at all. Didn't seem happy. Most of the time, it was his parents speaking. It was almost like they didn't want Ryan to speak and expose their dark secret.
People are already saying that once he turns 18, a Netflix documentary called The Truth Behind Ryan's World is basically inevitable. And honestly, at this point, that wouldn't surprise anyone at all.
He's too young, he won't know what to say.
Don't give me that. Ryan is 13 now. He could definitely speak for himself. But his evil parents didn't allow him to. Just like how they don't allow him to live his childhood. He's still making kid videos till this day. And you could just tell that he's not happy. He doesn't enjoy it anymore. Let him retire. Let him live his childhood dreams. He is not a slave.
Right now, the Kajis are clearly scrambling to keep the brand on life support, recycling old clips, using thumbnails from when Ryan was much younger, and pushing the twins harder than a Black Friday clearance sale. But let's be real, this run is finished. By 2029 or 2030, when Ryan turns 18 and the twins are around 12, this whole machine is going to collapse under the weight of its own greed. More creators are finally speaking up about it, saying Ryan's parents need to stop pretending nothing's wrong, and stop hiding behavior that many people are calling straight up criminal.
Hey, Evangeline.
Hey, Ryan.
Thank you so much for being in the movie.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, the dude's dead inside.
See it when it comes out August 16th.
Tell everybody about the character you play.
Let him retire. He just doesn't want to be there anymore.
So what are we even supposed to say about parents like this? Parents who are actively destroying their own kids' futures. Really think about it. This corporate camera-on lifestyle has stripped away Ryan's and his twin sister's freedom at the exact age when they should be learning, growing, and actually experiencing education and childhood. Instead, their lives were converted into a business model, a non-stop profit machine. It honestly feels like these parents are gambling with their children's futures for views and money. And at some point, shouldn't a father like this be held accountable for everything that's happened? Because that one highly controversial interview said more than words ever could. When they were questioned about it, Ryan's father's reaction told one story, but Ryan's face told a completely different one. The contrast was disturbing. It was one of those moments you couldn't unsee, and it wasn't just viewers who noticed. Other creators have since pointed out and exposed that exact moment too.
In an interview with John UC, Ryan's parents detailed just how much Ryan's World has grown.
Yeah, for the production side, we own the studio in Houston. It's called Sunlight Entertainment, and we have full-time employee, about 30 to 40 employees, and it breaks down to video editors, producers, animators, voice actors, on-camera talent, script writers. Our companies.
But not everyone was convinced that Ryan's role had been scaled back. Asked whether Ryan saw a future where he was no longer the face of the channel.
Is there a day where the YouTube channels will be fully animation? Like, Ryan, are you going to keep making YouTube videos, given your interest to be an animator and maybe go behind the camera, like as you get older?
Ryan answered,
I think I will keep going for a while, yeah.
Let's play that back. Notice how Ryan turns to his father as he answers, almost as if he's looking for approval. His father then gives Ryan a smile and nod, seemingly showing he's satisfied with his son's response.
Do you see that? Isn't that exactly what happens when kids are put under non-stop pressure? It looks like pure manipulation. How can parents get so greedy that they're willing to push their own children this far? I genuinely don't get it. Money clearly blinded them. Somewhere along the way, they lost their sense of right and wrong. And that's why all this shady behavior keeps surfacing. So what do you think? Do you agree or not? Because if this is what we're seeing on camera, just imagine what's happening off camera. Any guesses?
Ryan, I know there's a secret you're keeping from me, so just tell it to me straight and I promise I won't get mad. All right, fine. I'm sorry, what did you just say? I said I won't get mad. Just be honest with me.
I honestly agree with that creator's take. That mimicry might be uncomfortably close to what's really going on behind the scenes. And when it comes to Ryan, this whole story just feels tragic. He never asked for this level of fame. It was pushed onto him. A kid who only wanted to play with toys ended up being treated like one, packaged, marketed, and sold. Ryan deserves peace, not constant pressure. He deserves a normal teenage life, not a corporate script written and controlled by his parents. So if I'm ending this with one final thought, it's this. I hope one day Ryan gets the chance to tell his real story, not the version that was manufactured for him.